Greetings, one and all to Will State Community Church, where we are a community of the way. Will State Community Church is a community of the way. And the way is Maat, truth, justice, and righteousness. We believe in the teaching of our elders and our ancestors that the Creator God created the universe and all of life, and has placed in each of us a part of the divine spirit. God living in us and through us has given us the right and the power to establish peace and justice in all human life, and true harmony with all of creation. We believe in the living faith of our ancestors. Our way is not merely ritual or belief. Our way is a way of life. Welcome to Will State Community Church. I wanted to read from the Hosea in the book of Declarations of Virtues, number 9, at the bottom where it says, I took pleasure in righteousness, staying in harmony with the laws of the hall of Maat. I have not oppressed the lowly nor done harm to those who honor God. I have spent my life in the way of righteousness. The sincerity and goodness which were in the heart of my father and mother, I returned through my love for them. And I never acted in any manner to dishonor them, even from the earliest days of my youth. Though of great status, I have acted as one whose position was low, and I have not undermined anyone worthier than myself. Ashe. Ashe. So now we are going to, I hope everyone feels welcome, those of you that are here in person, as well as those of you who are on Zoom. And we are going to jump right in and go to our libations. So our libations is going to be given to us by Brother Watson.
It's everybody.
Uncle Johnson
Eat time Keperon. And then in the Terry Tam Keperon. Thank you for the supreme being who's ever becoming. Thank you for the Paul Netaru. Netaru that made the world and reside in us and guide us. Ashe. To the netters, from Newts, from the deepest recesses of our spirit. Amen and Amen Ra. Ashe. Oser. Ashe. Our faculty of wisdom, represented by Kibuti. Ashe. Being able to transform Keper, Sekerd, and Ptah. Ashe. Pedestal that we stand upon, what guides our tongue, what blows the sails, which allows us to reach for harmony, order, balance, to Ma'at. Ashe. Enforcing Ma'at. We're understanding that there are limits to behavior, and that we have to create a space for all things to exist. That helps us overcome sex and is fet. Ashe. As we walk and journey in the world, we can stand up and represent our own divinity and our own choice. Item Heru, dwell for the eye that was healed by Tahuti. Anetarot. Item for
heru and the kuumba and the creativity, the ability to solve problems, the ability to see with our mind's eye joy, harmony, peace, and inner peace, and be able to get along with one another. To heru, to Oshun, Ashe? To Sebek for opening the ways, for Sebek for being there at the crossroads, for Sebek's giving the ability to speak our world into existence, being able to speak kind words and being able to speak our world into reality through the words of our tongue, to Sebek and Legba, and all those that help us with right speech. And even the proverbial wisdom of the Ashanti, Ashe, to all set for our devotion, for the ability to care and nurture for ourselves and nurture for others. Ashe, and to give our corporeal being to be able to live on the earthly plane. Ashe, and to the great ancestors helping us begin again. Ashe, to the ancestors of all the great kingdoms and the wise wisdom that still clings to us and gives us guidance. Ashe, to the great Aim Hetep. Ashe, to the Sebaat teachings of the wise priests and give and instructions for us as all royal children and children to be led in the right direction. Ashe, to those like Marcus Garvey that helped us remember ourselves and to lift up you mighty race. Ashe. I pour libation to my parents and my parents' parents, to the envoy ancestors that guided and led to my birth, to the ancestors of Carl Patrick Jones, my father. Ashe. To the ancestors of my mother, Nettie Mae Jones. Ashe. To my to the ancestors and to the ancestor, and may she be at peace and be always be received and be able to come and go to Safensa, to Cleo Safensa Arianch, my late wife. Ashe. And to one of the ancestors of one of my friends in presence, to her great aunt, to her ancestors of the Wolfer clan, and to her uncle Pee Wee. Ashe. Ancestors that are on your lips of good character, that are good guidance, call their names.
Dr. Mrs. Leroy and Hazel Conley.
Ashe. Ancestors that are on your lips, call their names.
Mr. and Mrs. Eugene and Lily Mae Young Sr.
Ashe.
Come and be with us.
Edith and Eddie
Ida B. Wells.
Ashe.
Come and be with us. Brother Roland Young.
Ashe.
Come and be with us.
Nestor Bitiaha.
Ashe. Ashe.
Dr. Yosef B. Aiken.
Ashe.
Come and be with us.
Peter Evans.
Ashe.
Come and be with us.
Dr. Francis Cress Wilson.
Ashe.
Come and be with us.
Edna Patrick Fortenberry.
Ashe. Ashe.
Come and be with us. Dr. Neely Fuller.
Ashe.
Mr. and Mrs. Helen and Catherine Favors.
Ashe.
You never call it.
Ashe.
Mr. and Mrs. Claude and Daima Clark.
Ashe.
Agnes Patrick.
Ashe.
Mr.
Ashe.
Martinez Sibeko Kowete.
Ashe.
Mama Beckford. Ashe.
Ashe.
Be with us.
And as we have created a space
Ashe, come and be
for
with us.
gathering for our ancestors, let us all at the count of 3 call out their names. 1, 2, 3.
Dr.
Joyce.
John,
Edna Patrick Fortenberry.
Tommy Nkrumah.
Ashe.
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 It is done.
Ashe.
For the libation, and now we can have our prayer played before we have the prayer. We will have an announcement.
I don't have any written announcements. I just want to say one of the big announcements is Will Say Community Church in Oakland will be celebrating their 44th anniversary on December 1st.
Yes.
And I had the opportunity to talk to Professor James Smalls this week. When I told him about the anniversary, he said, "Oh, I got to be there in some way." So I'm letting you know in Oakland that Professor Smalls will be joining us via Zoom to give his congratulations for such. He says for an organization to be like we'll say to be around for 44 years, I got to do something about that.
Yes.
I got. This Wednesday for Black Knowledge Matters, we're having our traditional Misgiving Day. And so we're going to talk about Misgiving Day and all of the things that surround that concept. We're not giving thanks for the Europeans taking over the land of the Native Americans.
Yes.
We're just giving thanks to come together and to be with our family and see family members that we haven't seen in such a long time. If there are other announcements, please bring them forward. All right.
So next Saturday, in the parks, Black men will be working out. So it's either gonna be at the park on Power Inn and Calvine, which is called a fitness court at Edwin and Smith Community Park. Or the other location, if it's raining, it's gonna be Lion Athletics training facility. It's also on Power Inn and Queens Ridge, I believe. But I'll drop the link in the Wozniak chat. All right.
Thank you.
And now we're gonna have our.
You have an announcement? Oh, huh? Oh, no. Yes, sir.
No.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Now we're gonna have our affirmations, so if you can open up your worship folders to page 1. And if we can all stand. The Word Faith Community affirmation, the words that we affirm. We will know God's truth to be free and self-determined.
Creator, help us to
To
remember
remember the
and
humanity
glory and suffering of our ancestors
ancestors
and to
and to
honor
honor the struggles of our elders.
Let us strive to bring new vision and life to our people. Let there be peace and harmony among us.
Let us be
Let us be loving,
caring,
sharing, and
creative.
creative.
Let us
Let us
work,
work,
study,
study,
and
and
listen
listen.
so that we may learn, teach, and cultivate self-reliance.
Grant us power, O Holy One, as we struggle to resurrect our hearts and our homeland.
We will raise our children according to the needs of our nation.
With discipline, patience, devotion, and courage. We will strive to be a living model for the new direction of our people.
We are an African people. We are the
Children of God.
Now, let's have a song while we're standing.
Right. Any requests?
Out is the way.
What page is that on?
Page 24. I think that maybe the children of God.
I tell you what, let's sing Children of the Sun on page 9. And, you know, we haven't been in congregation in a long time. You might not remember how this song goes, but it goes like this. We are children of the sun. In every task we shall overcome. We were first upon the earth and will be the last. That's the holy word. Let's repeat that again. We are children of the sun. In every task we shall overcome. We were first upon the earth. Will be the last. That's the holy word. We were the first to look at life and ask the questions why. We were the first to hear and heed the answers of the Most High. We were the first to know the truth of reciprocity. We were the first to build a world of love and unity. We are children of the sun.
And
Every time we shall overcome.
Oh, yeah.
We were first upon the earth. Will be the last. That's the holy word. Now we face a faithful task here in this troubled land to resurrect our hearts and minds to build a mighty plan to build foundations for a people of the way. This work will surely test the genius of the race.
Oh, yeah.
We are children of the sun.
Children of the sun.
In every task we shall overcome.
Yeah.
We were first upon the earth and will be the last. That's the holy word. Will be the last. Will be the last. That's the holy word. One more time. Will be the last.
Oh, yeah.
That's the holy word. All right, that's a song that was written by Minister Makalisi Oso Sawandi. We sing a lot of Oso Sawandi selections here at Wose, and that was, I think he wrote that in 1984 or something like that.
And it's still a hit.
It's still-
Thank you, and everyone's making seated. Still one of my favorites. Okay, so now it's time for our historical tribute. We are so excited to hear from this brother today. He's gonna give us our historical tribute, Brother Sebastian. Ashe.
All right.
Morning, Jose.
Morning.
First of all, in doing this, I was just sort of thinking this morning, wrote a few things down. We're a multifaceted people.
Yes.
And when I think of us, I often think of a comparison to that of a cockroach.
You gotta explain that.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't have a whole bunch of time, but you know, I've been told that cockroach was around back during the times when dinosaurs roamed the earth. And I've seen some cockroaches. I ain't seen no dinosaurs.
Mhm.
Somehow or another, they survived.
Yes.
They tried to take us out. We still here.
Yeah.
don't despair from what happened in November during these elections. We were built for this. We were. And this presentation today is from Frances Luella Cress. She was born March 18th, 1935 in Chicago. And her dash for the most of her life, she was telling us about all that happened this past November. She was telling us about all of that. She, during that time, she's explained what I would say the melanated endurance of us, that cockroach of a people. She transitioned January 2nd, 2016, 6 months after she blessed us here in Sacramento with her presence. I bring to you Dr. Frances Cress Wellesley.
Just a second, I'm gonna cue it up behind you. Sorry about that.
You can plug mine in directly.
Oh, no, this is good. Oh, let me cancel share, stop share, share audio. Try this one more time so we can watch. Let me mute this two first. No, just need to mute this. My apologies, Jose. Technical issues there. As long as we get that muted. Switch the source. All right, thank you for your patience.
Thank you, sir. For your diligence.
I was dismissed from Howard, fired from Howard in June 1975. In November 1974, while still at Howard, I heard a rumor that I was going to be blocked from promotion and tenure because of my views, not because of my academic work. But let me make one correction. My theory does not say that whites are inferior to blacks. I don't say that. I say that whites feel that they are inferior because they cannot produce skin pigmentation and because their status as, I say, a variant of albinism is genetic recessive to blacks, and they can be genetically annihilated by non-white people. And this is very, very basic genetics, and it not only is very basic genetics, this is common lay knowledge, and we hear it, the dominance, the genetic dominance of black over white is heard in the expression, one drop of black blood makes you black. In other words, if you were to relate to a white female, the product of that relationship would be an individual that is identifiable as what is called non-white. They would have something, I mean, the curliness of the hair, the darkness of the skin would make the child look more like you than like the mother.
White. Would you agree or disagree that the terms black and white are not genetic definitions? And if they are not genetic definitions, then how could your theory be true?
Well, wait a minute, when you say genetic definitions, I'm not quite sure what you say, but for the sake of time, the factors that determine whether we're going to have skin pigmentation or whether we lack skin pigmentation is based on genes. In other words, you have genes that determine the quantity of melanin pigment that is going to be produced in your skin, in your eyes, in your hair. If you have a gene, a mutation towards an inability to produce that pigment, that is also genetically determined. And that is at least within the context of the Western world, or the white supremacy culture, the dominant classification of people, not as determined by Francis Welsing, but as determined by white people themselves, as your classification, either you are white or you are classified as non-white. This is on your birth certificate, this is on every paper of identification that you have. And this focus on skin coloration, I maintain, is based on the awareness on the people who are now in power, that they are a minority. The white group represents a minority in the world population. And the color focus is something that is a psychological, I say a psychological necessity based on a genetic reality. So that, for example, all of us learned as we were growing up in the black community, if you are black, stay back. If you are brown, stick around. If you are yellow, you're mellow. And if you're white, you're right.
I am a general psychiatrist and child psychiatrist. I'm from Chicago, but I have been in Washington, D.C. since 1958 when I came to medical school at Howard University, and did all of my training in general psychiatry at St. Elizabeth's Hospital and child psychiatry at Children's Hospital here in Washington. And I have been interested in how to solve the mental health problems and other healthcare problems faced by black people. And I began to realize that until the problem of racism was solved, that black people were going to have difficulty.
Is the problem of the color line. So I said to myself, why would a system for the purpose of maintaining white power over non-white powerlessness, why would such a system evolve on this particular planet, planet Earth? And then I thought about some of the things that are said within the system. One of the critical things is that we are taught that white is a majority. Is that right? And we are told that non-white is genetic inferior. And then I just thought about the things that, you learn going to school for a long time and going to medical school. I said, wait a minute, white is a tiny minority. Fewer than 1/10 of the people on the planet have white skin. And instead of black people being genetically inferior, the ability to produce this black pigment, melanin, is a genetically dominant trait. And we have an excellent example in our president, Barack Obama. His mother is white, was white, his father was black. And you mix these together and what do you get? A colored person. See, always a black person. So I said that, okay, on this planet, planet Earth, in the 15th century, we had Columbus, 1492, coming out of Europe and realizing that the earth was round and not flat. And everywhere these white people landed, they found colored people, right? And if those men were sexually frustrated and the people were overtime, and the women had sex, or I should say the men had sex, imposed sex, however you want to look at it. If they waited around 9 months, they found that all of the children look like the mothers. And so they realized, wait a minute, we are a tiny minority in Europe and no other place where there are white people. So they said, wait a minute, what if these men got in votes? And started going from south to north. We could genetically disappear. A system.
She was a celebrated scholar who studied the origins of white supremacy from a psychological and biological perspective. In calling for strong families and role models in the black community, Welsing wrote, "Children are the only future of any people."
See, that's where little children are brilliant. Little 2-year-old people, little 3-year-old people, they start saying, why? Why? You know, and older people get annoyed, shut up. But don't ever tell a child. If a child is saying, why, mommy? Why, granny? Why? You may not know the answer. Just tell the child, I don't know the answer, but I'll try to find out for you. And if I don't find out and you study and learn, you'll find out. But the question why is what turns on the brain computer. The child is asking about cause and effect. And if you can begin to understand cause and effect, you begin to get a handle on dealing with reality.
This is our history. This is black history.
Neely Fuller Jr. profoundly influenced Dr. Frances Cress Welsing in her understanding of racism as a systematic issue. Dr. Welsing's quote, "Racism is a system," encapsulates Fuller's core philosophy, which served as a foundational concept for Welsing's work. Fuller's insights into the structural nature of racism provided Welsing with the framework to analyze and dissect the complexities of racial oppression. His emphasis on the systematic nature of racism helped Welsing develop her groundbreaking Cress theories on the psychological and social dynamics of white supremacy. Welsing incorporated Fuller's teachings into her own research, expanding upon them to explore the deep-seated roots of racial inequality and the mechanisms throughout which it operates. Together, they contributed to a deeper understanding of racism as not just individual acts of prejudice, but as a pervasive and enduring system of power and control.
I cannot take any credit for what I have done without giving credit to Neely Fuller Jr. See, Mr. Fuller was a guard at the Bureau of Engraving. He wasn't a doctor, he wasn't a college graduate, but he was a man who had started writing about racism. And as I've said before, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And there was a voice over in the corner saying racism is a system. And it was like a light bulb went on in my head. I say that what he did in bringing our attention to the fact that we are dealing with a total system structure, that he provided this critical key. And I don't know if Mr. Fuller would want me to say this, but he is a special human being. And when he was younger, he had been in a car accident. Some of his friends were driving fast as young people, and I think a couple of people were killed in the accident. And he did not have any injury, no damage. He said he might have had a little tear in his shirt. And when the state trooper came along, asked him, "Did you see the accident?" He said, "I was in it." And that could not be believed. They didn't want to believe it. How could he come out in this form? I think he came out in the form because he had a mission. And that mission was to bring to us the concept that we are dealing with a system. And I think I encountered him because he has the same birth date as my father. And it's because of my father that I am a physician. My father was a physician, and his father was a physician before him. So because of him, and because of his father interacted with Ida B. Wells Barnett. I sat in the second grade behind her granddaughter in Chicago. You see how things are woven together. And so the influences that you had, I had the influence of taking a course with Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois when I was in college. I stood for 3 hours talking to Malcolm X in 1956, just as a college student. I see what the children are walking around holding this 24 hours a day and really becoming, the brain becoming addicted to all that activity on the screen. So it's like when parents, I see some parents who try to discipline children by taking the phone away, and the children almost act like they're drug addicts. You see screaming and screeching until they can get it back. And so then the control and the programming that is going on. So I just say that people need to be aware.
Dr. Welsing, I just want to thank you for your beautiful, outstanding person. And I'm glad that people, and sometimes I think we got to talk to white folks too. And we had Tim Wise come to the school that I work at. And are you familiar with his work? And I'll sit down and just listen.
Tim Wise said about Francis Wells that Dr. Wells
I'm gonna get these two in your library. Dr. Lily Fuller. Checked as recent as this morning, and he's still alive at 95.
Nice work, brother.
His work was cute. We call her name often here in San. So I thank you for that additional information about her. Now let's go on to a song. Any other requests that I will not consider?
Let's do the student principal song. Yeah. Okay. And what page is that on? Page 18.
What
Page
about
18,
it?
for those of you that are listening on Zoom? Let's stand to get the legs working. And this song goes like this. There are 7 principles for a better life. To find them, to know thyself, you have to look inside. Oh, yes, we need them so very much to restore ourselves today. The Nguzo Saba is the way. Let's sing that again. There are 7 principles for a better life. To find them, to know thyself, you have to look inside. Oh, yes, we need them so very much to restore ourselves today. The Nguzo Saba is the way. Umoja kujichagulia, ujima ujamaa, nia kumba. Imani makes us one. Oh, yes, we need them so very much to restore ourselves today. Nguzo Saba is the way. Let's repeat. Umoja kujichagulia, ujima ujamaa. Nia Kumba Imani makes us one. Oh, yes, we need them so very much to restore ourselves today. The Nguzo Saba is the way. The Nguzo Saba is the way. The Nguzo Saba is the way. Once more. The Nguzo Saba is the way. All right, thank you.
Stay standing, sorry. Stay standing, because right now we're gonna do the litany of sacrifice. And the litany is on page 2 in your worship folders. Save us, O Holy One, by your name. Vindicate us by your might. All together.
Hear my prayer, divine protector. Listen to the words of my mouth. How can we repay the Holy One for the gifts that have been given to us? We will lift up the cup of salvation and call on the God of our ancestors. We will fulfill our vows to our Creator in the presence of all our people. Gladly we bring our sacrifices to you. We will praise your name, O Amun-Ra, for it is good.
Umoja, unity. We shall strive to maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race.
Kujichagulia, self-determination. We shall define, name, create, and speak for ourselves.
Ujima, collective work and responsibility. We shall build and maintain our communities together. Our brothers and sisters' problems shall be ours to solve together.
Ujamaa, cooperative economics. Together we shall build and maintain our own businesses, and together profit from them.
Nia, purpose. We shall make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community and the restoration of our people to our traditional greatness.
Kumba, creativity. We shall do as much as we can, in any way we can, to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial.
Imani, faith. We will believe with all our hearts in our God, our people, and in the righteousness and victory of our struggle. Amun-Ra. And so now
So we're going to pass the basket, and we have envelopes, and those of you that want to go online and contribute, do that, and that's going to come up on the screen. And if you would like to contribute online and you're in person, you can go to our website, wosac.org. These people keep coming up.
It's right here, Joe.
Elon Musk is.
Yeah, right. Anybody else?
Most High, we come to this day, giving thanks and praise. Thank you, Most High, for this day. Thank you for the giving of the holiday. Thank you for each and every person that had a heart to give. Thank you for those who've had the means. And we just pray for those who've had a heart to give but had not the means. We just ask for your blessings upon the offering, that it may go to the point of place that you would have it to go, and ask that you double it, triple it, quadruple it, and help us to maintain the vision and manifest the vision of building a people and creating community. We thank you ever so much. Amen. So now it's that time. It's that great time in the service where everything comes together. So we just want to give thanks for this time in service, that you guys would be able to be fed within your spirits and in your mind and your soul. So we're going to bring on Minister Imhotep Akebula for our message.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Right, let me get up there.
First, I want to give thanks for those of you that came. I'm actually surprised. I'm glad that we didn't have rain today.
Yeah.
Because I thought, oh no, nobody's going to come. It's raining. But my brother here, Mandingo. Mandingo, why don't you come up here, and he gave us a sign for Kwanzaa.
Oh.
I like that. We all seen that.
Would you like to explain that, sir?
Absolutely. My sister and my family. Think of my name. These are my two sisters, Bia and Sian. We have a brother who is close here in spirit, but elsewhere. Just a quick history. We met Brother Imhotep as a result of a extended family of ours. You may or may not know him, Anika Kululeka, and Kuloleko. There you go. A long time since you, brother. But anyway, great brother, extended family. Brother Imhotep agreed to service or perform or speak at the celebration of life from our mother back in July of 2023, which we are heavily grateful. Thank you. So anyway, this is a donation that we are providing that came from our family, where we were looking for a good home for it. And I have to say thank you and welcome. We feel so welcome and so warm here today. Even though we were tardy, there's a backstory behind that, but we're here. All right. And yeah, they were so warm and so welcoming. We are home. So we want to provide this as a new home for this place, for this sign. We feel to be well cared for and taken care of, and it belongs here. So with that being said, without further ado, please, until we'll say second round. Thank you. One more thing, we are a very long time not members, but participants in We'll Save Oakland. You remember that? Yeah. My father's celebration of life was
98.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how old we're me and the people here. So
Translation?
Well, we appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Translation.
Joyful first fruits of the season for our husband.
We have a birthday song that's Furaha Kajaliwa to you. The ancestors send greetings to you. I learned it with another spiritual group in Oakland. Whenever there's gatherings, I always sing the part the similar rendition.
We'll have to.
So yeah, I plan on coming back again. You know, one of our commitments that we made was to come here after the celebration of life when we learned about Jose Sacramento. I've been on Zoom with this before. I like the feeling, it feels right. Right. You know, I'm so happy to be here and we will get to see me again, not too long. You have something on December 10th over there?
Yes.
Good time to plug that.
Yes. All right. You know what? I met your cousin. Is your cousin?
Anika?
Anika.
Extended family.
Extended family. So Anika, I remember Anika when he was Shadid Hamid. And he was one of the, actually,
That's when we met.
He was,
Exactly.
that's what you read.
met him too, yeah.
Actually, he was part of the reason why we got Dr. Ben to come to Wosay, Oakland. And when Dr. Ben came, it put us on the map with the cultural community, and Brother Anyika was a vital part of that. And I think the last time I saw him was a couple of Kwanzas ago, and I have some pictures I'll share with you of him.
Okay.
So can I share my?
Yes, go ahead and start broadcast.
Okay.
You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
Am I muted now? Am I muted now?
We can hear you now. We can hear you now.
This needs to be.
No, you're good. You're good. No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, it's good. Okay, it's good. So we live in a society where people are actually being convinced that being woke is something that's bad. It's something that's bad. They flip it. You know, they flip. I don't want this woke. I don't want this woke.
Hold on.
We have an echo.
Echo, double presentation. Echo, double presentation.
You're muted. You're muted again.
It's
Thursday.
It was Thursday.
The 23rd.
Is that right? Yeah.
Is the echo still there?
And
No,
still,
echo's gone.
Echo's
Still got an
gone.
echo?
Echo's gone. Cool. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what happened. So we shared the audio from that device, and now it's.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm coming across all right now. Thank you for your patience. I want to thank our brother Jabari
Thank you.
for his technical assistance to getting it to you today. So yeah, so we've been taught now, you know, through Babylon. Babylon is a Rasta euphemistic term that talks about an oppressive society. So we have been taught by Babylon that being awake there's something wrong with it. Don't you want to be awake?
Yeah.
That's right. So our freedom writing today will come from the Book of Prayers and Sacred Praises. Number 3, Amun-Ra is the helmsman who knows the water well. He is the rudder for the weak. He gives bread to those who have none and sustains those who serve him in his temple. This is the most important part of this scripture. I take not the powerful as a protector. I depend not on those with wealth. I place not my life under the strong arm of another. For my wealth and strength are in the house of my Lord. My Lord is my protector. I know his might. Indeed, he is an helper, strong of arm, and none are truly strong but he. Amun-Ra is he who knows compassion and hearkens to those who call on him. Amun-Ra, Lord of lords, the bull of great strength, who delights in mightiness. That's a reference to Taurus. And then the next freedom writing we find in the book of Keper Rasoneb. This is all from the Hosea. Everyone is silent about it. The whole land is in great trouble, and none are wise enough to know it. None are angry enough to speak out, and every day one wakes to suffering. Thus my suffering is long and heavy. The weak and wretched lack the strength to save themselves from that which overwhelms them. It is painful to keep silent about what one hears, and yet it is of no use to answer the ignorant. You know, I slip back to it's of no use to answer the ignorant. People love only their own words. Everyone builds on crookedness, and right speaking is abandoned. I have spoken to you, my heart, now answer me. A heart that is approached must not keep silent, for surely the servant and the master share the same fate. And thus, many are the things that weigh on you also. So these are our freedom writings, and our subject today is wake up. You know, Bob Marley has a song, wake up and live now. Wake up and live. I'm not gonna put you guys through that. All right. So this freedom writing comes from the Middle Kingdom. So in general terms, I don't accept a lot of orthodoxy in terms of Egyptology, because it was created to confuse people. It was created to deny the truth. But in general, Egyptology, there's Old Kingdom. No, there's the pre-dynastic period. There's the Old Kingdom that goes from the 1st to the 6th dynastic period. And then there's like an intermediary period. And then it starts from the 7th to the 12th dynasty. That's considered the Middle Kingdom. And then you have a place from the 13th through the 17th dynasty where it's a lot of confusion. Invaders come in, and the monarchy goes south. And then in the 18th dynasty is called the New Kingdom, and the New Kingdom goes from the 18th to the 24th dynasty, and then you have what's called the Nubian Renaissance, or the 25th dynastic period. But this book here is written in the Middle Kingdom, and it's also called the Complaints of Ka-Keper Ra-Soneb, also the Lamentations of Ka-Keper Ra-Soneb. It's an ancient Comitian or Kemetic text from the end of the first intermediate period or the beginning of the middle period. And like everything else, you know, we're told that we don't have any history, but all our stuff is in a museum somewhere. And so this is found, is current. I like the way it's written. I got this out of Wikipedia. Currently held in the British Museum. Yes. The dating is not not established as fact, but it is thought to be near the time period, right, and it tells the story of suffering. So the per Oz of that time, Mantu Hotep, and like many other statues, he's not able to keep his nose. Isn't it strange? They said, well, the reason why they do that is because they're denying them the ability to breathe. Stop telling that lie. Because the ones that have straighter nose, those remain on. They don't mind them breathing. So this is Mantu Hotep. And then this is Sin Urseret the First. See, him too. But you know what? It doesn't really help because you still have that big space there. You know a broad nose was there. and this is called the White Chapel, and this is at ancient Waset or Wosek.
You've been there.
And okay, I have been there.
I'm sorry about it.
I'm sorry about it. Here we go. I went to the White Chapel. So this is on the same temple grounds as Waset. And so now I want to I listened to this lady. Her name is Randy Rhodes. I've been listening to her since 2000. There used to be a program called Air America. And she used to come on, and then Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman still comes on. Tom Hartman comes on, and Randy comes on. Stephanie Miller comes on, and other people. And I was listening to Randy because like we were saying, people are down about the results of the election. You can't believe it. You know, it's just like right. You know, there's an old Richard Pryor show. You know, there's only like about 4 of them, but one of the skits was Black Death. You know, and so Richard Pryor was this acid rock singer called Black Death, and it opens up. And the audience is going, we want Black Death, we want, you know, bunch of white kids, and they're like, we want Black Death, we want Black Death. And the announcer, who do you want? We want Black Death, we want Black Death. And then the guitar player, a coffin opens up, he steps out, and then the horn player, you know, all the band comes out of coffins, and then Richard Pryor comes out of the sky. and he's saying stuff like, I got some reds, they bad for you. I got some drugs, they bad for you. I got some dope, I'm gonna kill all of you. And then he takes all the drugs and he's throwing it out to the crowd. They're trying to grab it and stuff. And then and then he picks up a machine gun and shoots the whole audience down,
Which is what they wanted.
yeah. And then at the end, after everybody in the audience is dead, the announcer says, "Let's hear it for Black Death." And everybody's dead on the floor. And then they featuring on Richard Pryor, and he goes, yeah. You know, and that's what people want. That's what people in the United States wanted.
Yeah,
You know, so here I was listening to Randy and I was taking some notes. So I don't want to make you think that these are my words, but this is what she was saying. She says, we are transferring our power to a violent and chaotic administration. Why did Americans choose an adjudicated sexual assaulter? Why did they choose a felon to be commander-in-chief.
And let him vote this election too.
You know, now you can, you may feel one way about Kamala Harris or not, but she was the most qualified person to be the president. There's never been anybody that had 34 years of experience. You know, you know, you may not agree with her politics or what, but she was definitely qualified. But this man, he's adjudicated sexual offender. They chose a felon to be the commander-in-chief, and Democrats always blame Democrats. They find a way to do it. The economy is booming. But when Donald Trump gets hold of it, he's going to take credit for what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were able to achieve. Wages are higher than inflation. There are 11 million jobs open. The market, the day after election, was not just a good day. The market has been setting records the entire time that Joe Biden was the president. It's a booming stock market and has been for years. The day after the tech stocks, the biggest gainer in the stock market was Elon Musk. He's even richer than he was the day before the election. The day after the election, he made that. Now I would just like $1 billion.
Right.
You know what? 1 billion, and then I'd be okay. He made $26.5 billion to add to his already $290 billion that he owned. America voted for the wealthy of the wealthy to have their way with it. What do you think is going to happen?
Right.
They made you think that this clown, this rapist, this felon somehow knows how to bring prices down. He doesn't know the one thing about that, nor does he care.
He doesn't care.
Jeff Bezos' wealth grew by $7.1 billion. Really, I'm easy. 1 billion is good enough for me.
You gotta explain the billion. Some people don't know what a billion.
A billion, right?
Those-
How many zeros is that?
Well, no, I think it's simple. There's 1,000 millions in a billion.
1,000 million
In a billion.
in a billion.
Right.
Right. But he got $7.1 billion. Oracle founder Larry Ellison, another Trump supporter, he saw his net worth rise 5.1 billion. Then she asked, do you know actually who you elected? This is who you elected. Elon Musk to the presidency, and Peter Thiel, I spelled his name wrong there, to be the vice president.
And that's the plan.
This is now the new robber baron era, the new Gilded Age.
Yeah.
What did Peter Thiel do? Anybody know?
He backed the vice president.
He backed J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance has only been around politically for 6 years. But he went straight to the top. Okay, I repeat that. We saw, and so she was talking about what happened during the Biden. We saw wealth inequality actually get smaller between the very top and the very bottom, and the middle class was growing. You can kiss all that goodbye and welcome in the new Gilded Age, the new robber barons. You elected Elon Musk to the presidency and Peter Thiel to the vice president. Peter Thiel, this is how you really, how his name is a billionaire. Now just think about this. Elon Musk and Peter Thiel grew up in apartheid South Africa. And that's what they want to institute here. All right, so I'll just keep going. We elected an authoritarian. 10 to 17 million people chose not to vote. Just think about that. 10, you know, my wife says I gotta be careful with these numbers. Now she is a numbers person. So she tells me I gotta be careful with these numbers, but it's between 10 and 17 billion chose to sit it out. We had 17 million more voters in 2020. We have misinformation has been accepted as information. So you watch Fox TV. Fox TV had to pay $750 million and to say that they were not a news agency, but they're entertainment.
Yes.
And that's what the majority of the people are watching. And our young people, they don't even go that far. They're Instagram, they're all of these social media that have an algorithm that tells them what they need to see, what they want them to see. So Musk bought Twitter, and then he used it almost exclusively as a propaganda machine. And that's what the people have accepted. So this is why I chose this freedom writing. Ha Kepara Sonev, number 3. Everyone is silent about it. People don't want to talk about this. You know, let's hear it for Black Death. You know, the people don't want to. In the ancient Roman times, they said give them bread and circuses. Isn't that something? You know what the circuses are now? NFL, NBA, MMA. This is my own personal search. EPL, English Premier League. My kids grew up playing soccer. I was glad today Liverpool won. But see, everyone is silent about it. The whole land is in great trouble, and none are wise enough to know it. None are angry enough to speak out, and every day one waits to suffer. Every day somebody's getting shot. Every day something wild is happening. Thus, my suffering is long, and really, I wake up. You know, I'm afraid sometimes to find out what happened today. The weak and wretched lack the strength to save themselves from that which overwhelms them. It is painful to keep silent about it, yet it is of no use to answer the ignorant. What good does it do to answer the ignorant? They're just going to say something that's going to make me even more. People love only their own words. Everybody builds on crookedness, and right speech is abandoned. I have spoken to you, my heart, now answer me. A heart that is approached must not keep silent, for surely the servant and the master share the same fate. And thus many are the things which weigh on you. This is what has happened. We want dirtier water And so CEOs can make more money. Send our jobs overseas. Stop giving us benefit from our tax money. Give our forests to the timber companies now. Don't tell us what's in our food. No laws for industry. Pave over our farmland. Limit our internet freedom. You know that's coming.
Yeah.
Please tap our computer messages. Yeah, it is. You mentioned something near your phone, the next day is coming up.
That's right.
Next day.
Yeah.
Maybe not even the next day, huh?
Next minute. Yeah.
Yes, to costly healthcare. The American people that's supposed give us E. coli burgers. You know, they just had a big thing, right? Just carrots. Carrots and meat.
Yeah.
And meat too. I'm sorry, I'm yelling. I used to didn't yell. I mean, you know, I used to when I gave messages, I would be yelling, and this little girl, she was like about, I don't know, between 12 and 10, and she would say, "Why is Brother Imhotep yelling at us?"
That's what
For those of you in Oakland, that was Halima Holmes. Mahib and Okanona's daughter. She's now like 40 or so. Anyway, so why are things so expensive? Look at this. 4 companies control 55 to 85% of the meat market.
Yeah.
Why is it so high to fly an airplane? 4 airlines control 80% of the air travel.
Yeah.
3 companies control 92% of the soda market. You really shouldn't drink soda. This is bad for you. 3 companies control 73% of the cereal market. Why did I hear about it? 6 companies control 90% of the news.
Just 6.
Comcast just announced that they are cutting MSNBC and CNBC loose.
Yeah, I heard that.
So they just going to be right. The billionaires have taken over. This is the new robber baron illustration. You know, meat, air, sodas, cereal, news. And these blood clots, that's another roster term. The world's 10 richest people got a record 64 billion richer from Trump's reelection. Okay? Have I beat this to death yet? I have. Stop. Look at that. 2014, he only had 8 billion. Today he's got 222 billion. Jeff Bezos, he only had 32 billion. Really, I am not greedy. 1 billion would be enough. He's got 179 billion. Mark Zuckerberg, 134. He had a lowly 28 billion. I don't know how he can live like that. And then, but the minimum wage for the average worker, it was $7.25 in 2014. In 2024. About 17. Anyway, it hasn't really grown is the point. Are you guys getting that in Oakland? You guys, I can't hear you. What did you say? Am I boring you? All right. Elon Musk. These are, why is he so rich? The Department of Agriculture, the Department, he's got contracts in all of these. Department of Agriculture, Department of Transport, NASA, NASA. Environmental Protection Agency, GSA, what is that for? What is GSA? General Services. Department of the Interior, Homeland Security, Department of Defense, Department of Veterans, Department of Commerce, Department of State, Department of Energy. These are the contracts that he has. And now they're asking him to be over, to oversight these ones that he has.
Which is not supposed to happen.
America's not broke. We're just being robbed. IBM got 340 million tax rebate. Amazon got 129 million tax rebate on 11 billion in profit. Netflix paid no income tax on 856 million in profit. Coors. I used to work with some Samoans. They really loved Coors. I went out with one of them boys. I don't know how I got home. Coors got 23 million tax rebate out of 1.3 billion. GM reported a negative tax rebate, 4.3 billion in profits. And then what about these Negroes? None of them got pulled up. What did they get? They were like Uncle Remus.
Yeah.
You know?
And Uncle Ruckus.
Uncle Ruckus, yeah. Look at this. They really showed out.
Oh, yeah.
I saw this wasn't one of these brothers, but I saw this guy. He was a congressman from Texas, and he said, if Donald Trump tells us to jump 3 feet in the air and scratch our head,
We jump.
we jump. Whoa! There must be some kind of strange. You know, I watched this movie. It was called Star Wars, and Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan and the robots. They got past these guards. He says, I don't know how we got past the guard, because at one point he says, who are these robots? And the Obi-Wan said, these aren't the robots. These aren't the robots you're looking for.
And they went over there.
And he said, these aren't the robots we're looking. He says, they can go about their business. They can go about their business. Move along. Move along. And then Luke, as they drove by, he said, I thought we was, I thought we was caught. I don't know how we got past them. He says, how did we get past them? And Obi-Wan said, the Force can have a strong influence on the weak-minded. This man said that he is what did he say? I'm a black Nazi. Lord have mercy. Help us.
And would have a slave.
And would have a slave.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Candace, she has a beautiful name, but I don't know what's happening with him. Hey, Michelle. And Brother Tim Scott. My goodness. I didn't make this picture up, okay? On your screen. But you know what, Sebastian? He also looks like this. He also looks like this for This is the other side. This is his potential. what he could be. But no, he would rather. So this is why I had to come back to this. He needs to read this. Maybe we should send him a Husi. Amun Ra is the helmsman who knows the waters well. He is the rudder. Uh-oh.
He is
Okay.
to those who
He is
have.
the rudder for the weak.
Those who
What's the
serve.
rudder? The guide. He gives bread to those who have none and sustains those who serve him in this temple. Where's God? Where's God's temple? Within. This is something we need to. I take not the powerful as a protector. I depend not on those with wealth. I place not my life under the strong arm of another. For my wealth and my strength are in the house of my Lord. Where's the house of my Lord? My Lord is my protector. I know his might. Indeed, he is a helper strong of arm, and none is truly strong but he. Amun Ra is he who knows compassion, hearkens to those who call on him. Amun Ra, Lords of Lords, the bull of great strength who delights in mightiness. So the message today, sisters and brothers, is wake up. History is a lie because it's his story. Religion is a control system. Do you not know that as a Christian, you are worshiping Dagon, the god of the Philistines, that the hat that the Pope wears is the same hat that the Philistines have on with the fish head? Money is a hoax. Nixon took the gold standard, removed the gold standard in 1972. Debt is a fiction. There's no such thing as debt. Queen Elizabeth or her son now, King Charles, could give everybody something of his fortune and still have a lot left over. Media is manipulation. Government is a corruption. The system is a lie. Wake up! Wake up. Now they should be wake up. Now they haven't heard it. They haven't heard it, they heard it now.
Yeah, wake it up. You need to sleep, wake up. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I always think about that, a long time ago, I said, nobody likes to wake up. You know, when you're sleeping, and your mom comes in there, your dad, hey, wake up. Oh. You know, for some people, it's a difficult thing to do. You know, oh, I just want to sleep for some more. That's how some of our people are. Because even though, you're trying to get an eye open here and there, it's like, oh, I want to sleep for a little bit more. But it's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. Thank you, Minister Imhotep, for that message. And now we like to extend the invitation. If there is anything that was done or said that you thought or have experienced or felt today that made you think to yourself that, hey, I want to come back. Hey, I want to be a member. I want to be a part of this movement. Then this is your time to raise your hand or jump up and shout, or if you're on Zoom, open up that mic and open up your mouth and say, I want to be a part. You can raise your hands, any of those things. And if you want to give it some thought, also, you can go on to our website and you can become a member in that way online. I don't know, I don't see anyone here, I don't see anyone there. But the invitation is always open for you guys to become a member of WOSE. We are always here with our arms open, ready to greet you and welcome you. So now what I would like to do is have everyone in the congregation, we're gonna stand together. We're getting our exercise in today. We're standing together. And we're gonna sing, lift up your voice and sing.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing
Rise high as the listening sky.
let it resound loud as the roar. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present brought.
Praising the rise,
let us march on to victory. It won. And now to them who was able to lift us up faultlessly before the throne on high, may they empower us to be a people with one aim, one vision, one faith, one destiny, one love, one love. All right. One God. Let us call upon the name of that one God, as our ancestors and elders have done for countless generations, for time immemorial. Let us all say together. You are the most beautiful people on the face of this earth.